Hi there. I wanted to talk about your life and how it is a story and how your ego is involved in all this. So the way I see things is your life truly is a story that is unfolding in front of you. And your ego is the key. It is the master key, the world builder that is building that story and driving it forward. So you need your ego. Your ego is actually very important. It's the quintessential element in your story. It is the protagonist in your story. And many would say it is you. You yourself, you are your ego. So you are the protagonist. I myself take a more nuanced approach. I would say, yes, you're your ego, but also through practices in awareness and expansive spaciousness and mindfulness, you may come to understand that you encompass a wider range than the mere immediacy that your ego may suggest. And you might even say that your ego itself is the one expanding, allowing you to see that wider view. And that's where it gets very subtle and nuanced. But that's not the topic of today. The topic is story and ego and how they are intertwined in one, and how they are important to a healthy and fulfilling life. The ego wants things. It drives you forward. But since we're all unique, we all want slightly different things. And this creates a dynamic amongst all people and all of the environmental factors, as well as the entire world, that is so interconnected, like this matrix of energies, that it is just begging to be told as a story, or more so experienced, for it is an experience, and that is what makes it so profound. This story is unfolding right before your very eyes, before all your very senses. And I believe that this aspect of life, which is a central aspect to life, should be embraced. It should be embraced. It should not be rejected. I believe that, yes, there is always learning to do. There is infinite learning to do when this aspect of life is embraced. But I don't think this is a bad thing. I think this is the infinite giver of energy. This is the infinite generator of energy. This system of ego and intertwined, interconnected storytelling of all things. So embrace all aspects of your life, and especially those that make a good story. And what is a good story? Well, a good story has a protagonist, and that protagonist has a dream or a goal, or maybe they don't. But a good story at its heart has conflict. And this is the piece I really wanted to touch on. This is the piece that we need to learn how to embrace. Conflict doesn't necessarily need to be this thing that you're struggling to get away from. If you're someone like me who tries their best to avoid all conflict at all costs, it can often be more costly than simply embracing the nature of things, embracing conflict, and driving through to live life the way it's meant to be lived, including all the conflict that comes with it, and all the learning that comes from pushing through to the other side of all that conflict. Life goes in cycles. And so where there is conflict, on the other side there will be a peak of happiness and bliss and peace and rightness and beauty. And where there is a peak of beauty, there is then a steep downward oscillation back into conflict and darkness and all the things that go with that. And this wave is the oscillating wave of life itself. And this wave should not be rejected. This wave should be accepted and loved. For this is the wave of life. Do not fear the nature of your own self and of life. That is my message. Thank you for listening. Peace.